training, and I'm not even going to take credit for it. It was Chief Carlin who instituted an aggressive training, not only for the new recruits, but the in-service training. The City Council gives the Niagara Falls Police Department $250,000. I'm sorry, $125,000 to 3 times a year do in-service training that every member of the department, from myself down, has to attend. Each year we've tried to do a bias policing, a cultural diversity, or something that we can teach these officers that there is a diverse community that they're dealing with. There are different ways of handling a situation, and we will be as aggressive as Chief Carlin has been with that type of training.
Police brutality really is not a police term. It's not used. It would be excessive use of force. As Captain DeMarco said, the police officers are trained in the academy and are trained on a daily basis from their supervisors to use the amount of force necessary to stop the threat against them. In other words, they are used to minimum amount of force to effect their arrest. Now, 95% of the time, the uniform is that amount of force that they use. That person sees the uniform, they're advised that they're placed under arrest, handcuffs are put on them, and there's no incident. There's actually a charge for resisting arrest. And it says that a citizen cannot resist the arrest of a police officer whether that arrest ends up being lawful or unlawful. They cannot, it is illegal for them to resist that arrest.
When you use the term police brutality, like Chief Deputy said, we judge things by excessive force. Did the officer use the reasonable amount of force that was needed to effect the arrest? If the officer went well over that, then we have a problem. Because in our agencies, we have people, outstanding people, just like the people in the community the people in our police departments are people that are in the community. And there's outstanding people in the community. We have some outstanding officers in our agencies. And the minute that one, does something or takes something to a level where it shouldn't go, that's a black eye to every single law enforcement officer that's out there doing the right thing. So we don't tolerate excessive force. I can speak for our agency. What we do is we have an Internal Affairs Bureau. Excessive force complaints are rated the highest complaints, and what they do is at the local level, most complaints at the local level are handled by a sergeant. You call in, you say, I've had a problem with this officer, he did this or he did that, he maybe was rude to me and it was a little short to me or sarcastic, or the sergeant will take that complaint and he'll do an investigation. Excessive force complaints are our highest level complaints. They go right to the Internal Affairs Bureau. For our agency, this region, that office is in Rochester. And the people that work in that office are totally separate from the road patrol, and they take on that complaint and they do the investigation. And they because I have some experience, I worked in internal affairs for 4 years. The people that I work with do an outstanding job, and they have really the weight of the agency, the reputation of the agency on their backs. So that what they want to do is do a quality investigation, because if something doesn't smell right, we all know something doesn't smell right. And in this agency, we know it doesn't smell right, and we don't want the people in the agency if they're not doing the things that they should be doing. As far as training goes, we have what we call citizen interaction schools, where we'll send some of our people to. If we get complaints, again, maybe a trooper has gotten 2 or 3 complaints where people have said that the person was a little rude to me or short with me. Well, let's have some training. Let's go down and see how you interact with people. And we do that sort of training. We also have an early warning system that we have implemented. Again, when we get complaints, we categorize them in a certain manner. We do the investigation. We say it's a founded complaint, or it's an unfounded complaint, or it's an unsubstantiated complaint. And really, the unsubstantiated is the trooper says this, the complainant says that. We really can't determine whether the trooper was right or the complainant was right. So we don't have enough information to substantiate the allegation. That doesn't mean that there's nothing wrong. If we get multiple unsubstantiated complaints, then that triggers the early warning system. what is going on with this particular individual, this particular employee, that, that this person's always getting a complaint. And there might not be enough on each individual basis to say, yes, he definitely did it, but looking at the aggregate, there's enough there to say there's a problem that you seem to keep getting complaints, or people seem to keep complaining about you. So we have implemented some training that we think is effective, but ultimately, if we have people out there that are utilizing excessive force, it violates the trust of the community, and we can't have them on our job.
White and black drivers seem to violate traffic codes at equal rates, and yet 72% of the people who were stopped and searched by police were African Americans. Across the U.S., over 10% of black drivers stopped by police were likely to be searched or have their vehicles searched, as opposed to 3.5% of white drivers stopped by police. And a study of racial profiling on the New Jersey Turnpike found that while 13.5% of the cars on the road had a black driver or passenger, 73.2% of motorists stopped and then arrested were black. So the question is on racial profiling, what can be done about racial profiling? I guess it's driving while black.
What can we do about racial profiling? It really has to do with training. It has to do with being sensitive to the needs of the community, being sensitive to your interactions with the citizens, and then maybe when you do get stopped, you leave that interaction with that police officer, you do get a feeling, well, I was stopped because maybe I did roll through the stop sign, or maybe I did. Not the fact that I'm still not really certain why I was stopped. I'm not really clear why, this interaction had to happen the way that it did.
We get additional money to reduce crime because we have the highest crime in one of the 17 designated counties in New York State, that being Niagara County. With that impact money, we were able to hire a field intelligence officer who gathers information on crime and disseminates it and spreads it out throughout our partnership on what to look for. We also were able to hire a crime analyst. We have crime maps. We study crime in trying to reduce crime. So if you look at the area where you have the heaviest concentration, I would hope as law-abiding citizens you would want to see police in that area. Before we even leave the police station with our partners, we know where we're going, we know what we're looking for, and we know what we're trying to stop. I had just been appointed chief in 2004, and we were at the Doris Jones Resource Center to address these similar issues. I haven't been to one since. This is a start. I would like to see, I brought Captain Legault, who is not a member of administration, but is a member of the patrol division. He's in charge of the 4 to 12 shift. I would like to expand, if we're talking about Niagara Falls Police Department, I would like to expand this table to include the Detective Bureau, the Narcotics Bureau, and others. I'm accessible, Anthony. You tell me when and where, and I'll be there.
Years ago, I asked for the creation of a citizen review panel for the city of Niagara Falls. I know that community forums like this, they are nice, but we need, I think, more hands-on. And we need to know exactly what the police department is doing and be able to monitor that.
I will leave it up to you to take the lead and do what you feel is right.
Many of the police officers use the N-word very frequently in our communities. And the thing is that, it is very difficult to have respect for the police when in fact the police is disrespecting people in our community by using the N-word. So what is being done regarding police sensitivity training?
I don't want to taint the whole Niagara Falls Police Department, but I'll echo what Captain Hainsworth said, is I don't profess that every member of the Niagara Falls Police Department is perfect. When confronted with an allegation of using an ethnic slur, it'll be looked into. If I could, I wasn't going to bring it up at this point, but I had meetings over the summer with the Human Rights Commission. I'm sorry, over the spring. And one of the issues was the insensitive comments by Niagara Falls police officers when there's a traffic stop. So we came to a resolution that we feel the best